Okay. Take a nice big sip now. That's a good boy. Oh, hi. I'm Ray Cotolo, and this here is my money tree. They're supposed to represent prosperity, good things to come, and I especially think on this episode of the Harness Players podcast, I'm going to need every little bit of serendipity this here thing might put out into the universe. Because I'm joined here on the show this week by none other than Mr. Mike Pribozie. And the main reason, Mike, why I'm bringing the money tree out, not that we did bad last week. I was on the ball with most of the horses in the MGM Borgata Series, which is what we're here to talk about. Third leg upcoming on this Monday, April 14th card. But leg one, bombs away all over the place. Leg two, it was just so much chalk.
It was formful. Yeah, the races played out much different than they did in the opening week. The weather was certainly much better. And this is kind of what happens at times, especially in this series. Those first couple weeks, it can be a little chaotic. Then horses start to find their form. And depending on how that they are placed with the draws, that they're facing different ones. Some assert themselves to be superior, and a lot of people are able to find those. So it doesn't lend itself to as many upsets. But I think this week is a little more interesting. They put some of the better horses in one of the races. So it's another good week to pay attention. I was able to make a couple bucks last week because I thought that there were places you could take shots. If Charlie would have got home, we would have done much better.
Yeah, it was a tough proposition for him. Ultimately, I'm trying to remember what leg he was in. He was
That was the
in.
last race, but he raced very well. I love the
Oh yeah.
drive. I love how they took a shot with him. He just ultimately got tracked down by a very sharp horse, but I
Mhm.
do think that was what we thought would happen. That was the way that the race shaped, and it played out exactly that way. He just wasn't quite good enough on the day.
Yeah, the first division, it's a me Mario. I know you were somewhat against, but I thought he showed an eye-catching move the previous week. He delivered. Hemsworth, who was our big, horse to be involved, was able to get second. Churchview Frankel, though, was surprising at 20. I was surprised he was just 21-1 because he seemed like he was going to go that type of trip, and he was able to complete the try. $100 the last dollar was obvious, to your point. Formful affair in that one. For once in my life, I'm definitely not surprised by him delivering as the chalk
Mm-hmm.
again.
I had him
Coach's
big.
corner. And Coach's corner, I think that's probably the biggest shock of last week because your desperate man is desperate man. And so he's going to take play no matter what. But we still don't know where he's at form wise. So to get,
Mm-hmm.
I think it was 7-5 on Coach's corner, not too bad.
Yeah, that was one of the easier 7-5s you'll ever see. And we did mention on this podcast last week that we were against Desperate Man. Didn't like what I saw in leg one. Leg two, more aggressive. I thought he raced much better, but Coach's Corner just was able to sit perfectly and track him down. I think, Desperate Man got a favorable draw as far as the divisions this week. So, but he's got a face for done, and I think I'll be against Desperate Man again this week.
Oh, that's an interesting foreshadow. The last one to mention, and we'll talk about him again. Mosdale Ben, I think probably put together the most not with how the track was playing type of performance coming
Mm-hmm.
from so far back to win. He definitely does seem like a menacing factor this series.
He's something else. I mean, he has yet to lose this year, so he's been fantastic. He's back in again. He draws better now, and but he's in a tough spot here. We're going to see how good he is with Coach's Corner in that race. It's quite the showdown here, and Mickey Shan raced very well off the sixth scratch. Also, almost caught For Once in My Life, who's one of the top horses in the series right now. That is a fantastic race. I can't wait to see what happens there.
Well, we're down to just 4 divisions this week. We had 5 the first 2 weeks. Now the herd's starting to thin. Or we also have some horses who may have built points deciding, I don't need to show up for once in my life, is a case in point there. He's taking this week off after back-to-back wins in the preliminaries. We're going to start with our attention to race number 4. That's the first division of the Borgata Series for this Monday's card, April 14th. And you were alluding to it right off the bat. You're against Desperate Man in this short field, which I'm curious about simply because this is a weaker bunch than he's faced so far this series. It is a small field. He's going to go forward. Do you think that even if he gets the lead and can rate, that someone's still going to catch him?
Yeah, I just think that he's not quite what he has been. He needs to prove it. He's going to be, again, a very low price. He's been 1, 2, 3 to 5. I would imagine he's sub even money again from this inside post. He's going to go forward, but there's horses with speed to the outside. Now, obviously, they haven't been really producing their best so far, but you could see Hella Blue blasting here. You could see Artie's Flash blasting here a little bit. So maybe putting some pressure. Hungry Angel Boy is another one that likes to go forward early. So just enough to sting him to set it up for Verdun, who really had no chance the way the race shaped last week. And he was in against two toughies. I liked his first week, that first division, and he blasted home there 26-4. Didn't have this quite the same kick last time because the pace was a little bit quicker. Hard to trust Pat LaChance, I know, but I just like the way Verdun is racing, and you're going to get a far better price here. So I would be heavy for Verdun here. I think that he's the one, hoping that Desperate Man is, like I said, not quite the same as he has been, even though he comes off back-to-back 51 and 2s.
I think your assessment price-wise isn't far off. Desperate Man has been odds on in both of his starts so far in the series, probably going to be 4 to 5, if not maybe even like 3 to 5 inside of this spot. But I do wonder with Verdun, because of how sharp of a closing effort he put in the first week, even though he lost last week, what realistically do you think he goes off odds-wise here in the short field?
Yeah. Well, I mean, Desperate Man's probably, again, I think 3 to 5. Verdun looks like the second choice and clear second choice, right? So, I mean, 2 to 1, maybe. I mean, I think you might be scraping because others are not going to take really much action unless they come for Hella Blue or something, which could happen. I mean, he has some speed. Yeah, clear second choice. I'm thinking 2 to 1.
Oh, and does that seem like it doesn't even sound like you're that excited to want to take 2 to 1? It sounds like you're kind of just settling into that because you know he's a sharp horse and can maybe pull it off.
Yeah, I mean, you might want to look at him for Maltese. I mean, you start a pick
Okay.
3 there. There's pick 3s that in the earlier races that you could maybe go with to get rid of the big favorite in this leg. I wouldn't be very spready though. I mean, it's not you're not going to get rich on this race. It's more of an opinion of one horse versus another. Again, you're not going to get rich here, but we have to analyze these races. So that's something that I do think value is a little subjective. I do think that Verdun is a more of a value in this race than Desperate Man.
I think if you're talking form, Verdun definitely sharp. He's going to be a factor inside of this series no matter what. Desperate Man, like he's probably firing at 80%, and he's still doing okay. So in
Mm-hmm.
one way, this is a put up or shut up spot for him. And I feel the same way with Hellabaloo all the way to the outside. He was able to be a bit better
Mm-hmm.
last week, but for one, he needs to start getting points, or else
Right.
he's going to be consolation bound. And also, this is a tricky spot as well because Gingras can make enough speed from the outside draw to try and get forward. But you look inside, Rock and Roll Runa finally gets a good draw. Maybe Mark McDonald wants to seize that opportunity. Maybe Artie's Flash going from the 7 to the 3 is going to want to push forward too. We know Desperate Man's going to want to push forward as well. So this could be another week where Hella Baloo, even if he does go forward, that probably plays into your case on Verdun because he may end up getting strung too hard early, and then that sets up for the more stalking types to get into the mix. Though, all this to say, Hungry Angel Boy again, probably a long shot inside of this spot, but he gets a great draw where maybe he can land onto the try or something like that at a good number. But I feel like Desperate Man has to win here. I'm not saying that I think he's really likely to win, but this is definitely the softest task he's had so far. And even just losing last time out, he lost to Coach's Corner, who's not
Mm-hmm.
here. And the only horse that's potentially close to Coach's Corner in terms of fitness and ability is Verdun. And Verdun's
Mm-hmm.
going to be coming from so far off the speed that Kakali might be able to just get this mile his own way and cruise. So that's the hard thing is you don't want to settle on the chalk in that way. But again, like this is a spot where he's supposed to win. And all of your bets have to rely on you thinking Desperate Man is done. He's toast. He doesn't belong here. He belongs in the non-winners of 9,000, which I don't think is the case yet,
I don't
even
think
at
that's
7 years old.
happening.
No, that's definitely not happening.
Interesting that Mark McDonald though shows up on Rock and Roll Runa. He did drive this horse in the past, and he is one of the the best gate drivers that there are. So I would imagine a blast off is coming. He certainly can get one away from there. So that is one little dynamic there that could change things.
And he's the guy who pulled off that massive upset Hambletonian day on Rock and Roll Runa in the Sam McKee Memorial. I
believe
remember which one was on that day. Division 2 of the Borgata is race 6. This one has 7 horses going postward. I don't know about this morning line. I feel like Racing Rampage just earned that, for one, because of the post draw, because of the connections. We know Kakali and Travis Alexander tend to be potent over this track, but just getting the pylon draw, that first race, I thought it was fine. He lost to Mosdale Ben, but he just kind of took back, tried to get in the mix, couldn't get there, gave up. I don't really know who the favorite is here.
Yeah, I think it probably will end up being Hemsworth. A reminder, race 5, $20,000 guaranteed pick pick five there. So it starts in one race prior in race number 5. The handle last Monday was fantastic at Yonkers. So keep an eye on those things and certainly jump in. As far as race 6, wide open. I don't know, Racing Rampage 2-1. I mean, please, he was 29-1 in leg number 2 there. Now I know that this is a better spot. Seems like a lot of the also rans ended up in this division here. I thought Hemsworth was much better last week. Lost to It's a Me Mario, who was hammered in that spot. Act Fast needs to bounce back himself. He came off the 6 scratched and he really wasn't himself again. So I'm sure, I don't know when himself is going to be back to himself, but we'll see. And some of these other horses from the outside are typically from off the pace. I like Hemsworth. I think at 4-1 morning line, you have no chance of getting that. He's going to be sub 2-1 in here. He's finally going to take a lot of money, and he can win with either trip. I think he'll go forward, probably ends up in the pocket, and ultimately probably beats these horses. But if he doesn't win, I have no idea who does.
He definitely does have to go forward, I feel like, because that was the other thing I was trying to figure out, is who's launching off of the gate. Zeron probably is with Hemsworth. I think Gingrad tries to with Act Fast, because I don't know that Racing Rampage really has, he has some gate speed looking at the qualifiers, but he still kind of seems like a project horse. He's still trying to figure out where he fits, how to race him.
I don't know what Act Fast is doing in this series. I just don't get it. I don't know what he's doing. But he tried to blast in leg 1. He probably is going to try to blast again. I don't know. I don't know what he's doing.
I thought he comes in off of an improved effort since he folded so hard in leg 1. He got that typical something was amiss race to let's be conservative, figure out where he's at type trip, and he ended up getting 4th. And so maybe that's a precursor to just trying again, because we were talking about the Burke team's showing in the first week. Something was definitely just off with their whole battalion. It definitely seemed like there may have been some type of sickness or something of that sort going on, because these are all horses that at their best day are competitive, and none of them fired. So even Ammo was able to put an improved effort last week too. So I'm kind of thinking maybe Act Fast lands into a soft enough group where he can try and go forward. Worst case scenario, he does the same thing he did week 1, and he's a bad price doing it. I would think maybe if you can get 4-1 on him, that might be worth like a few dollars inside of this race.
No, thank you.
I'm not sold on him. I'm not sold on himself. The other thing is if Janelle Granny just blasts from the 5 and can get the front, then it's a different race. Because if Teacher can then soften the second quarter and then just accelerate up the backside, Janelle Granny's good enough to kind of carry himself around the track. But even then, like Churchview Frankel, he's going to be closing. I don't see him pulling a Verdun inside of this spot, but he's again
not better last week though. Nice kick last week for him. He's okay. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, he's a good horse, but I definitely think he's better suited for the trifecta and such, which is what I thought last week too when he finished 3rd at 20-1. But this is the theme is put up, shut up for Hemsworth. Leg 3, he kind of showed something last week. He was a menace in the series last year. This is his time. He has to show where he stands inside of this series at this point.
Agree.
Third division is the next race, race number 7. We speaking of Ammo coming off a third place finish, just chasing Hunting the Last Dollar, who draws post 5 this time around. Mike, do you think that post differential changes this race at all? Because Hunting the Last Dollar has had pylon posts both times, has been able to find speed that way. Do you think
Mhm.
maybe he has a better time getting to where he wants to go from the outside?
I don't know what he's going to do here. There's horses inside, especially Ammo, that can outfoot him early. I think that he's been the benefit of 2 perfect post draws and 2 pretty nice trips. He's been very good, but he's going to be overbet in here. I'm curious to see what Charlie does. That could change the race. I love the drive last time, and certainly he's got an outside post here now. I mean, he's been going forward this year in races. Humble's another one outside that could blast off early, second week there for those new connections. So the early dynamics in this race are going to dictate how it goes. I don't think Hunt in the Last Dollar gets the same perfect trip. He's going to have to work for this. And then you have Binge on Yankee on the rail too that has shown speed, has won going wire to wire in leg 1 and was close last time. Faced Coach's Corner, desperate man. I mean, this is a better spot for him. This is a very, very tough race. If you're going deep in multis, I suggest using many in here because it's really difficult the way the posts have been drawn, the way the pace dynamics set up. Very, very difficult to pick a winner.
I would possibly hedge on this being a race that blows up because
It's right.
Blaze or Binge on Yankee, you look down his page, he's fast, but it looks like he can't really close. He's just able to build speed and hold speed, but then if he's
Mm-hmm.
chasing horses, good luck. So that could potentially incentivize Xeron to try and really fire him from the pylon post, which then also with the outside speed puts their fates into question too. Because Hunting the Last Dollar, he's been kind of crawling home even when he's gotten soft
Yeah.
miles. He only won by under a length in like 28 and change the final quarter last time
He's
for
not going to
him.
get that separation this week. He's going to
Mm-hmm.
have to work for this race.
Right, and so you have Binge on Yankee as probable speed. Ammo's going to want to try and procure a spot. Humble, I don't know. Do you think that Humble tries to be aggressive here?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Dietrich, he hasn't been doing that recently. He could end up first up in here. That's just what it screams to me. Because Hunting the Last Dollar tries to find easy trips. He's not going to be trying to dictate this race or try to come first up here. I think Humble could end up first up. Charlie, the way this race looks from this post and all this speed inside, this could be a take back and try to be second over in here and make a move late, which might not be a bad way to go. I think he's been very good so far in the series. First up, first week, second week. I mean, they went 50. He went 55-1 and just got picked off. So, I mean, I think he has merit too, but I don't know. This is a very difficult race. Very, very tough. I don't know that I want Humble, but last time he looked okay. He took money for the new connections. Can he win this race first up? We'll see.
Humble was just so sour first up that I
Mhm.
feel like they would have to try something new with him or do even like more in the other direction, which would be Teacher takes back, tries to be second over. And if that's the
Mhm.
case, you're taking another massive speed out of the race early because you saw how Bartlett was able to hustle this guy off the bench from
Mhm.
post 7 for
Right.
like he can be as aggressive as the best of them. And that's probably better for him. He doesn't look like he really wants to take that much air yet at the very least. You look down his page, he's been able to make big sweeping moves in the past, but he only has 2 starts so far this season. So maybe that's a sign that Tetrick's going to try and be a bit more conservative with him, especially given, Hunting the Last Dollar is going to go, Binge on Yankee's going to go, the inside horses are going to protect position, and Charlie
Mhm.
May as well. I feel like he has enough points that a conservative drive only helps him in some ways because of that outside draw. He can try and pick up whatever pieces. If he happens into a win, that's great. Worst case scenario, I think he grabs a good share from
Yeah,
that
I do
spot.
think he plays well. I mean, they got McDonald on the 2 also, and that
Mm-hmm.
horse has had wide posts, and he's shown speed in the past. That's another one that could blast off here. This could be, I mean, this could get Western early here. I mean, Ammo, he wants to go too. There's a lot of speed in this race, so we'll see what happens. I mean,
Yeah, I
this
was gonna
is.
say for multis, I think Blazing Home could be interesting if he lands into
Mhm.
the right spot. Sherlock has put in some better miles than we think.
He's
He
over
was
2 years though. I mean, he's over 2 years.
he was closing ground. Well, he only raced one time last year. Something was
Mhm.
wrong. He's been just kind of rehabbing. Had a lot of speed to offer in that Verdun race. Closed to finish fifth. Was just kind of saving ground against Coach's Corner. Desperate man. This is a much softer race. Like this race probably
I don't
goes.
think this is a soft race at all.
No,
This is
but no.
a tough
Here's
race.
but no. There's a difference between this being a race full of 150, 151 horses and a race being full of 52, 53 horses. This is a race that's more within the speed par that Sherlock can handle, and in the event that it totally collapses, he's another one that can come
I
picking
think
up.
if 3 or 4 of them hook wheels, then maybe he has a chance. But other than that, I don't want him.
You gotta watch more Oak Grove, where we constantly see pace contingent races bring horses you would not expect
Yeah.
into the action. But this isn't about Oak Grove, though. Oak Grove is fun, and they do race on Monday as well. This is about Yonkers. It's a really perplexing third division, that race number 7. Race number 8, then the last division. Even though it's 6 horses, it could be it could be the toughest. They've all
Mhm.
been fairly hard in some capacity, but we have Mosdale Ben, who so far is undefeated in the series, facing off against Coach's Corner, who we have known for such a long time, loves this track, is great against this group of horses, and sandwiched between them is Mickey Shan, who was able to put in a massive rally to finish second last time out, and now he gets a much improved draw. This is a really tough race.
Coach's Corner's not know what to do. I mean, he's like, okay, I'm not in the 7 post. Maybe he might just go out there just for fun. That's he's the worst drawn horse I've ever seen. I think that this is what you want to stay up for here. These 3 horses going at each other, and Mosdale Ben probably has to be closer now, right? I mean, has been wide. He was 12 lengths off early last week and still came flying to win. The trips don't seem to matter. This horse seems to, know where the wire is and is coming with fast times against good horses. He's very tough, I think you sort of have to make a decision in multis. I guess you could use all 3, but then you're losing equity. I love Coach's Corner too. I do think that he's going to take the lion's share of the money. He's, I think, been in the toughest spot so far. I don't know. I'd probably go Mosdale Ben here. He's just been very impressive, and I don't think the trip matters to him. They're going to have a hard time holding him off.
Mosdale Ben, you look down the page who he's beaten. He has beaten Verdun. He has beaten Charlie May. It's a me Mario. He's been facing some stout competition inside of this series, but I think you raise a good point. Where does he land? From a better draw, you have to think Stratton's going to want to try and be within 5 lengths of the lead. If he is, then this becomes a test for him of how much do you really want to target versus how much are you just catapulting over tired horses. Week 1, you could potentially make that argument because we know It's a Me Mario made that super sharp third quarter sprint
Mm-hmm.
that then ultimately took the wind out of his sails. Mosdale Ben was able to power by. Last week, Mosdale Ben did a bit more work to get by and win, which then makes you think, okay, he's probably a type that just wants to keep chugging at whoever's in front of him and overhaul them to get his nose in front. This is going to be a race that tells us what his ultimate MO is, if he just really likes chasing down horses or not, because Coach's Corner ultimately is probably going to have the edge on him. You're
Mm-hmm.
right. Bartlett has to go. He has to put him forward. Granted, Coach's Corner has also been able to work pocket trips, if I remember. Yeah, both starts. And
Mm-hmm.
he's always been a horse that's good off of a helmet. He might not be as sharp just cutting the fractions himself, but in a short field, I don't know who really comes first up on him if Coach's Corner is going to the half. He might be able to get a soft second breather. And from there, it's going to come down to, do you believe Mosdale Ben at a short price is good enough to grind on the rim, get by a horse who is as fast as him while recouping that length deficit? Or in the I shouldn't say more likely, but in just how racing dynamics tend to unfold, Coach's Corner holds the edge in this race, unless Mosdale Ben works the pocket. That's ultimately how I see it. So I feel
I
like
don't think he
Coach's
needs the pocket. I don't think he needs it, honestly. He's
really.
come from the parking lot to win a couple races here. He doesn't need a trip. He might just be this good, and I don't care who
Okay.
he's facing. Yeah, I don't think he needs the pocket. I don't I don't know. I don't think he
Yeah.
needs anything the way he's been racing. I think that he can win regardless of circumstance. So when you have a horse like that, and you have Coach's Corner in here to take money, against him. I mean, he hasn't even been the favorite in the last 2 races.
Hmm.
So, and then I would imagine Hunter Oaks' horse is going to take some money too. I would think Yannick Blas with him, right? I mean, he's
Hmm.
shown some speed in the past. I know he was six scratch, come from way off of it. Now you get Yannick inside draw. Some of these other horses want to sit. He's going. I would see the 3 on the front in the race.
I think Bartlett lands on the front at
We'll
the end
see.
of the day. The 5 and
It'll probably
6.
line up 3-4-4-3. That's the way it's going to be.
And I'm not opposed to what you're saying about Masdale Ben either, because in some ways this is an opportunity for him to show a different dimension to how he's been racing. But if we're just purely operating off what we've seen of him, if he has to climb uphill on Coach's Corner, I do think he's at a disadvantage. But, you know, good horses overcome those disadvantages. And then that's when next week we go, oh, damn, Masdale Ben is the one to beat inside of
No,
the
he'll be
series.
taking next week off after his 3 wins. So
I'll go in the series final. Wow, okay, Masdale Ben. What do we do with him from post 8? Depending on however it draws. No,
won't
Coach's
matter.
Corner will land post 8. It's an interesting round of the Borgata series. Even though
Mhm.
ultimately, shorter fields this time, we're down a division. It's not strapped for competition. Each one has the top one sparring heads, which also gives opportunity to some of these second tier horses to potentially reap the spoils. Ultimately, really great racing overall. And as you mentioned, the pick 5 starting in race number 5. Last week had a $20,000 guarantee. It's a $1 minimum. Granted, mostly chalk, but a 9-1 shot opened it, and it paid about $300 for a
Mhm.
dollar. And you look. You have to look through the winners. It was 6-5 even money, odds on coming after that nine to
Right.
one shot. So there's room to make money even if this thing chalks out.
The handle's very good right now. The racing is exceptional. I am very interested in Yonkers to watch these Monday night races, and it's a lot of fun. I like seeing these great horses going up against each other. The dynamics of the pace. There's lots of strategy. Horses need points. This is really we've been doing this Borgata series the past few years, but this is pretty much the most fun that I've had watching it, covering it, and I'm excited to watch it. For me, it's been very good. I'm not just pumping it up. I really think for myself that this series so far has been a lot of fun and very enjoyable with the top horses going against each other.
It's definitely the most like fantasy football harness racing
Yeah,
gets in some capacity for people who might have gotten only to this point and then gone, okay, fine, I'll finally give horse racing a shot. I'm done with college basketball, which, granted, I think we all are because
I think we
Florida.
are for now.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah,
Florida got to cure themselves of the March Madness. Everyone else has to take pills, right?
yeah, they won. I got second in the pool that I run, so that's not bad.
Oh,
That
that's good.
paid.
But who were you rooting for inside of that?
Well, I had Florida.
You had Florida on top, and you
Yeah.
won and you got second.
Yeah, I got paid though. We paid top 3 in the pool.
I mean top, but what I'm saying is like it's really hard
Somebody
to
else beat me
have
by
both.
1. They beat me by 1 point. That's how I lost. There
You
was
got beat by
32 of
1 point while also
Yeah.
have. Did they also have Florida winning?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I guess that's different. I thought you were the only one that had Florida, and then you somehow
No.
still lost. Because that's the hardest. Like imagine bragging like I hit the show bet in the Kentucky Derby. It's
I
like
mean, that sometimes can pay.
I
So
mean it can sometimes. Yeah,
don't
I
sleep
mean, if you
on
had
show in the
Country House,
Derby.
yeah. No, yeah, if you had Country House, that probably does pay too. And this Derby's looking interesting as well. But that's not this show. That's for PTF, JK, and everyone else on the ITM
You
staff.
might see me on some of those videos, but yeah, Nick Tamaro.
Yeah, no, I think Mikey P has been the best move you've made because we have PTF, JK. We can't use your full name. You have to just
Correct.
start going. You just have to start going by letters to be known on this channel. I can't go by Ray C because that. I mean, maybe that does kind of describe me a
You should
little
just be
bit.
Ray. I think everybody knows you, so I would just go straight Ray.
Uh, I can dream. I can dream of being known. But
We're done.
that's it. Thank you so much for watching this week's episode covering Borgata series. We'll be back. There's 2 more preliminaries, like
Mhm.
4, like 5, and then of course the week after that, first graded
Yeah.
stake.
Maybe we'll get a guest next week. We'll see if we can figure something out.
Yeah, we'll see. There do exist other astute handicappers inside
Yeah,
of the harness racing world. It's so hard to find people who are at our high level, you
it's
know?
true. Maybe we need to
Yeah.
reach out to Gibner or somebody, or Edison. Edison, who could beat him?
In a fight, I mean, yeah,
Oh no,
I think.
I wouldn't want Edison in a fight. No.
Hey, maybe that's something we can pitch to PTF as a PPV event, but as PPV, because then he'll be like, I'm in because we're all about letters. ITM, PTF, JK, PPV. Edison v. Givner. One night only, but that's not tonight. Thank you so much. Hopefully, you cash well on this week's Borgata races. And be sure to keep an eye out on the ITM feed for more harness racing action. Of course, horse racing action to come across North America. Bye bye.